My name is Niamo, and welcome back to another episode of the Deadlands. So I've added a fun mod that allows me to zoom. So I'm not using like Optifine. It just doesn't work with some mods here. But I added a mod called Zoomify, and it has a bunch of like different controls and stuff. I think a bunch of other people probably use this, but it allows me to do some controlled zooms and uh, go here. You can kind of I can do like the slow-mo cinematic type zoom, or I can just control the zoom like that with my scroll wheel. Um, yeah, that's a lot of fun. Since last episode, I have gone ahead and made some decisions. Um, First off, I'm gonna start or try really hard to make this a weekly series. So releasing every Saturday morning, I will hopefully get an episode out. So to do that, I decided to kind of apply a structure or an outline to my episodes here. Um, so yeah, I'll go through the outline here. First, I'll start with an intro, which, I've already gone through. Number two is news, so any updates pertaining to the channel or the series here, or just other series in general. Um, And then number three and four, it's technical stuff. Things like farms, like redstone contraptions, things like that. And then number four, building. Uh, so structures and, this stuff would be like number four. And then technical stuff would be like the sheep farm here. So after those two things will come a planning stage. So kind of like future stuff, plans for the future. I'll kind of in the video kind of throw my thoughts out, what I'm planning on doing with the area and stuff, or just whatever I'm planning to do. I'll just do in that part. Then number six, I sort of do a conclusion, the wrap up, kind of what I did this episode, stuff like that. And then number seven, an outro. Uh, just like just like the intro where I say hello, I'm back with another episode. I'm just gonna do an outro, just basically saying goodbye, stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I guess the first thing that I need to do, let's kind of talk about what I plan to do this episode, I guess. So last episode, I kind of did a planning stage where I talked about putting a road around the ring here. So I have kind of a rough design for that I will be doing later on in the episode. I'll also be implementing a road here, but I've kind of changed my mind on what I want to do with it. Um, so there's kind of this dip or crevice here that kind of leads to the river here. So I'm thinking I'm gonna build a river that goes through here and kind of lead maybe off in this direction. And then the road that goes through here will lead up to about here, and then there will be a bridge connecting to the plaza that I plan on putting here. Um, yeah. So later on, I'll in the building phase of the episode, I'm planning on putting the road in and or the path around the ring, and then putting the road or building the road here, at least up to here. And then later on, when I decide what I want to do here, I'll just put a bridge or something. I don't really have a design for the plaza yet. I haven't really worked on that. But I do have an exterior or an idea for the exterior here that I've kind of worked on. So later on, I'll build the exterior here. I've also forgot. I'll also install an off switch for the sheep farm here. Just so that when the chests here get full and stuff, I don't really want to run the farms. I want to turn them off. So I will go into a creative world and show off the off switch. So, and then over here, the big part, the big technical thing, is a sugarcane farm. I've kind of found an area over here that it's not too close to the wall here. So yeah, at least some space for like a river or a path to go this way. Yeah, but I also over here wanted to keep it kind of like out of the way. I didn't want it to be too tall so that when I'm walking up from over here, this building doesn't block the view to the tower. So yeah, this sugarcane farm is going to be pretty big, and I'm also going to kind of go through the design of that. It's not, my own design. I have updated or like added some stuff to it, but yeah, the initial design or the original design I think is Tango Tex. I'm just adding some stuff to it so it works for me. But after the sugarcane farm and sometime in the future, I plan on putting a building here for librarians. Yeah. What next? I guess creative. All right. So there's not too many. Okay. Before, let me jump back. This is the world in which I design stuff for the Deadlands series. So you can kind of see an early iteration of the sheep farm, but this one got kind of messy. I couldn't figure out how to get the wolf to a chest without it being a mess. So I just took each layer and just spread them out into the wings. Yeah, so the first thing I'm going to do when I jump back into survival is install this off switch. And it's pretty simple. It's just some target blocks beneath the pistons here. There is a lane here that I can walk on and, restock the dispensers here with more shears. It also turns off the minecart system. So now the system's on again. So whenever a sheep eats the grass, it'll, activate the dispenser. And the minecart will keep going back and forth until I turn it back off. And yeah, it's just a really simple design. I can figure out where I am. Yeah. So all it is target blocks and, just a redstone line. And then I just turn off the minecart system with this piece of redstone here, just below the first target block here. And that's, and yeah, it's just really simple. I did almost overcomplicate the system for the off switch, but yeah, this works. Moving on to the sugarcane farm. So I didn't build out the whole farm. That's just kind of a waste of time. But I did kind of plan out the footprint. And over here is another off switch. This one's a little more complex than... Where did I just come from? Over there, yeah. So it's a little more complex than that one. I wanted it to be a little more complex. So originally I was trying to use a redstone torch tower to turn off the system, but this didn't align with the line of redstone here. And that's this line. So this observer here detects whenever the sugarcane down there grows or updates, and that sends a signal down this line and just activates all the pistons and breaks the sugarcane. But at some point I'm going to have too much sugarcane, so I needed a way of turning that off, and right now it's off, it's not running. So if I come up here to this note block, just hit that, turns the system on now. So now I can freely run. So all I'm doing here is I'm using a note block as my switch, and this observer detects that, and it just shoots a signal down this line. And underneath each repeater here is another observer, and then with a sticky piston below. So when that observer detects an update, it activates the piston here, but it zero ticks the piston, right? So when it pushes the slime block, it leaves it. It doesn't pull it back. And that's pretty handy here. So yeah, the slime block gets pushed, and that observer detects an update, and that powers this piston, and it just shoots that signal down, right? But attached to the slime block here is a redstone block. And in the off or on stage, that block is next to the redstone line here. And so when it's off, that block is there, and it locks the system on. So now the pistons here can't update. And it's a very similar idea over here, where that comparator here, no matter what state this is in, it will not change the state of this redstone torch. So, yeah. But before I can get either one of these, I had to go into I had to let me jump back into my survival world. So I'm back in survival, and yeah, okay. So for the sugarcane farm, I needed, what was it, 48 stacks of pistons. It's a very large farm. But building all these pistons used up all of my redstone, and also all of my wood. So between episodes, I've gone and chopped down an entire forest for wood. I also had to make about half the amount of pistons in fence. So yeah, this strip of shulker boxes is stuff for the sugarcane farm. Here is for the off switch, and this is just some other stuff. And stone for building, and then all the sugarcane I'll need. Another 48 stacks. That took a while to collect too. But to build the off switches here, I needed more redstone. I also needed wheat for the target blocks, and this farm here wasn't producing it fast enough. So I went out into the world and just took villagers' hay bales, and that's what you see here. So this is the stuff for the off switch, and really it's just the hay bales and the redstone. The stone is just for building. But after I ran out of redstone here for all these pistons, I went mining. And I went mining for probably somewhere between 6 and 8 hours. So I got here about 14.5 stacks of redstone ore, a bunch of diamond ore too, gold and iron and lapis. But yeah, I need to first mine all of this before I can build the hay bales. So I'm gonna go do that next before I do anything else. Alright, so right here in this flat area, I'm going to take all my redstone, and I'm gonna build a few towers with all this stuff. Normally what I do, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? 2, 4, 6, 8. Yep. So normally what I do is I build an 8x8 square. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that means that each layer here will be a stack, because 8x8 is 64. And so with this redstone tower, I should have about 14 and a half layers. Cool. So that's done. And that's what about 14 and a half stacks of redstone ore looks like. Yep. I'm gonna build the other towers. And yeah. Cool. So now I am going to mine all of this. Probably going to need more than just a shulker box. Let's get a few out. Probably don't need that much because I'll just make everything into blocks, but yeah. I'm gonna record. I'm going to probably, yeah, start. I could find the button. Yeah, start recording. There. Cool, so now all of that is done, and I have put everything together here. So let's take a look at what I've got. So yeah, we got a good amount of redstone. I need a stack for the off switch for the sugarcane farm, and I think that's right. Right? Yeah, should be all the redstone I need, and hopefully that's enough to carry me for a little while longer. It's a stack and a little more of diamond block. So awesome. And just some lapis and iron and gold. So cool. Now I should be able to finish up target blocks and get the off switches installed for the sheep farm here. So now that I have everything and I've made my target blocks, I believe it's a stack of target blocks per wing. So it's actually quite it didn't take up all of that redstone I just collected, but it took a good chunk. It was maybe about 28 blocks of redstone per target block. So yeah, I'm gonna go around now and just do this. Right, yeah, and then continue on the other side here. And remove this. And we'll go back a little bit. And there should be, I don't have any reference open or opened here. So I'm just kind of trying to recall everything. But I'm just going to build this line and then I'll do the rest. So there should be that there. And this should come down. Some ladders. Get the carpet. So the carpet here, I'm going to put over the repeaters. Put some stone there, there, and there. And so I'm putting the carpet here so I can walk from one side to the other without having to go back down the ladders and then up to the next. It's getting dark too. Put the bed down. And I'm gonna need those. Plenty of redstone and some levers. Some levers. Right, yep, okay, so then a stone block there. And some redstone. We're gonna put some stone along here. Okay. What I didn't think about, though, is how I'm going to put the redstone down. See if I can... How far can I reach? Put a repeater here. But I hit that. Alright. Almost done here. So, just go to towards the end. Some more. Alright, and it's done. It's really easy. And let's test that. Yeah, so I'm in my last chest here for the green wool, so it'll need to turn off soon. Yeah, awesome. And, you know, being able to turn this off now, I can come up here pretty easily and restock the shears. So, yeah, cool, it's off. So, pretty easy, not too bad to install. Now I'm just going to go around and do that to the rest. Alright, so all the switches are installed, and yeah, didn't take too long, wasn't too hard of an installation. I can now turn off every, you know, line, and yeah, some of these are going to need to turn off soon, like the green wool and the orange wool. So this one's getting close. It's gonna have to turn off soon. But yeah, after I installed all the switches, I wanted a way of seeing if a system was off. And a lantern here was a pretty easy install. It's just connected to the torch that I'm turning off. Right, so that torch also controls the cart here. So it's the same switch, and it's fun to watch when a cart is kind of docked and unloading its contents, because I can see when the lanterns flash when that happens. I'm trying to catch one. Oh, right there. So yeah, that's fun. I can see whenever the carts are in position. But yeah, now that this is all done, it's time to go over here and mine out this area. It's going to take a little bit, so I'm going to do a whole time lapse of me digging out the hole and building up the system. And after that, I'm going to then get to my building stuff for this episode. So I'm back. The sugarcane farm is done. It took a while, about 7 hours in total, but I spent like an entire day building it with like tiny breaks and stuff in between. Uh, but yeah, whoa, I think I was in F5. All right. So now that the sugarcane farm is done, I've gone ahead and added a collection system for this. So over here I have just a few chests. One of them will start composting the sugarcane once everything else is full. Um, yeah, pretty simple. Uh, the collection system is simple. I mean, this farm isn't too hard. Just took forever to build. Let me go over here to this note block. I'm gonna stare at it and fly to the front. So right now the system is on, and I'm gonna turn it off. So as the pistons, they all extend. They prevent the sugarcane from growing anymore. So, yeah, now I won't be collecting any more sugarcane. But I'm just gonna turn it back on, and you can see me click. Yeah. So now the system's on again. And yeah. So it's been running for a little bit now. That's full, and I mean, this hasn't taken that long. So it's gonna fill up pretty quick. But yeah, now that this is done, it's not too pretty at the moment either. Doesn't really blend in with the wall over here. But yeah, at some point I'm gonna decorate it. And what else? Nothing. So now that that is finished for the time being, I'm gonna start working on the road that goes around the ring. I have to put all the materials together and build the outline for the path. And then the road here, I'll probably do a little bit of work on, at least get it outlined. It's gonna look very similar to the road here, but yeah. And then moving on over to the wool farm. It was probably a good idea to get all the switches, the turn-off switches installed before I did that, because, well, I already have two of them turned off. The green wool got, it got uh, pretty full, and same thing with the orange. I'm getting pretty close with the light gray, and then the others. The only closest one, or, you know, this wing, so, um, yeah. I've kind of changed my mind on the exterior for this. So I'm not going to be going with the design I had. I'm going to be doing or redesigning this, at least the exterior. I'm not going to move all these sheep around. That would be horrible. But yeah, I'm going to redesign the exterior, and I have some ideas. Not really going to discuss them at the moment, but yeah, uh, this design, the exterior to it, is going to wait until some other time, maybe next episode. Um, yeah, so that has been concluded at the moment for this episode. Same thing with the sugarcane farm, and all I have left to do is the roads. So I'm going to start putting the materials together and build the ring. And then once all that is done, I'm going to jump back in and kind of start texturing the road. And yeah. So I'll see you when I'm ready to do that. Alright, so I'm back. I've gone ahead and added the roads here. So if I just fly up a little bit, you can kind of see where this road's going. Um, yeah, so far it's just stone. And yeah, I have some more blocks to put in, but right now it's looking pretty. Just the stone. It's looking pretty good. Pretty cool. you know? Oh god. Um, Wrong way. So I'm not gonna have time before this episode ends to get everything done. Uh, Sugarcane Farm just took a little too long, and I'm just trying to get this episode out now. It's gonna be out maybe a day late. So what I'm gonna do instead is work on this little section here of road with the blocks. So there's already stone. That's kind of the base block. Then I have andesite, some cracked stone bricks, some light gray wool, and cyan wool. And I'm just gonna kind of work on this strip on camera, so I don't need any of that. Let's get maybe a couple stacks of andesite, some stone bricks, cracked stone bricks, some light gray wool, maybe a little more, a couple stacks of cyan. So, how should I get started? Let me get started maybe with the light gray wool. I'm gonna put that in my offhand, and I'm just gonna start throwing it in. It looks like this light gray takes up maybe a little more of this material compared to the other blocks and stuff. So, um, yeah, maybe something like that. Um, yeah, I'm definitely gonna get this stuff done between episodes. I just don't have time now. So, let's try maybe a little bit here, just to kind of not there. Yeah, maybe get a little bit in the middle. Uh, all right. Then let's do some cyan. And I'm gonna use the cyan to kind of highlight the light gray. And I'm not gonna use as much of it. Just gonna sprinkle it in. So I don't have anything in this corner. Put a little bit in there. Then just fly up a little bit, just kind of see if there's anywhere else I could put cyan. So maybe there. Yeah. All right. Let's move on to another block. Maybe some andesite. And I don't use as much of this, of the andesite. Again, maybe a block at a time, rather than big chunks. Kind of empty up here, so I'm gonna add a little bit. Maybe some down here. Okay, let me get some more blocks in before I do any more. So we'll do stone brick. I think I have all the blocks. Yeah. It's so many of them. I don't... Building the sugarcane farm, I had... There were so many. You can maybe see some of them in the time lapse. This is also kind of sprinkled in like the andesite, so I'm not going to do too much. Or at least kind of piled together. So maybe a little too much stone. Alright. might try to take a little bit of light gray out. So with this cracked stone brick, I'm gonna just go in, mix that in, maybe here. Maybe a little too much stone there. I'm standing where I need to see. Okay. I think it's coming together. I think once, I have everything down, it'll look really good. Yeah, so I don't think this will take very long to do. Maybe around the ring, I'm not sure. But I'm just kind of looking now. It's getting dark too. But I think that's pretty good. Probably just as much stone as my reference. I think maybe it looks a little different because it's just a different proportion. But yeah, maybe a little more cracked stone. Here, there, here. Again, I'm standing where I want to look. I don't know if I like that one. Maybe do something different. Maybe, yeah. Yeah. I think some playing around with it too will help. But the idea when I was kind of working on the block palette for this was, you know, the pillars here and the walls. I wanted to use like similar colors, but I didn't want to use the concrete powders and stuff because, well, I don't want to have to put, you know, strings or block beneath this. So I just utilized some different blocks, like the andesite. The cyan was just kind of, I wanted to throw in some color too, and cyan kind of blended well with the other blocks. And I thought, yeah, that looks good, so I'll just go with that. But yeah, that's it for this part. The next part is planning. So I'm gonna put stuff away and then I'll jump into that. Alright, so planning time. I kinda wanted to walk through this rather than going into free cam. Right. So I think this looks pretty cool so far. And later on, what I'm thinking is to create a bowl in this area. So, I'm imagining walls and stuff that come down from the road. And if I want to do that, then I need to do some terraforming inside first. So I'm going to probably, just select a level and dig down to that. And then come back with like a wall design. And then I'm thinking, you know, this tower, it needs a base rather than it being in the air all the time or forever. So that's another thing I need to work on. So I'm thinking like a little hill or like some sort of hill or something. Yeah, with the road too, I was thinking maybe a part of the path kind of goes towards the tower too, and maybe like I don't know what you would call it, but like stairs that go up to the towers from either side, and like, I don't know what it would be called, like stairs but a bridge. So like pillars would come up from the ground to hold the stairs up to the tower. So I'm thinking that. Um, yeah, beyond that, so that's this area. And running up the road, so I've talked about putting a bridge. I think I talked about it. Maybe I just did that with myself. I don't know. But what I'm thinking is I'm gonna put a river here and have it run off this way. And that would kind of like allow me to cut off this part of the area on to its own little island. And yeah, I would need some way to get back to the other parts. So putting a bridge here into maybe a plaza. Yeah. So a plaza there, a bridge, finish the road, and I don't know if this road will go any further. Maybe. Um, and over here, kind of coming up from that area from the iron farm, I'm thinking a path that kind of, I don't know if it's like a beaten down path or whatever, but just some sort of path that comes up this way. So yeah, I buried the sugarcane farm into the ground deep enough so that I can kind of still see the tower there coming up from this area. You know, I want the tower to always be in, you know, line of sight, right? So put a path here or something. I'm also thinking in this area, I want to put like a dock or something, like a boardwalk along this coast. Maybe, I don't know. If I put that river there, I guess I could put a bridge. I don't know. I'm just thinking. So, but if I do that, I need to make this prettier. I don't know what it's gonna look like though. I don't have an idea at the moment. But yeah, trying to think if there's anything else I was planning or like had on my mind. I don't think so. There are a bunch of farms though that I want to build in this area. Uh, what kind of farms? I don't know. So basically, this is my starter area. I just want like starter type farms, even though they're like quite large in scale. So I do want like a tree farm, or at least just a wood farm. It'd just be oak. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. I just need a good source of wood. Um, but cobblestone. So after, I don't know if I mentioned it. I probably did, at least with the redstone. So this project took up the rest of my redstone. So I'll have to go and mine again. But it also took up a lot of cobblestone and wood. So I have to, well, I've already gone and collected a bunch of cobble and wood. So I should be good there for now. It's just the redstone I am completely out of now. But yeah. So that kind of wraps up the episode here. There isn't anything else that I had planned. It was mostly just some builds and which which I didn't quite accomplish. Again, I'm going to go back and redesign the shell or the exterior for the sheep farm. And I didn't get as much done with the roads as I would have liked. But I still got the sugarcane farm going and it's almost completely full. So, but it should at some point very soon be producing bone meal. But yeah, so that's that. Um, yeah, I don't have anything else. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed a little bit. If you did make it to the end of the video, really appreciate like a like and a subscribe and just or and maybe a comment. I do want some feedback. If you did get to this point, feedback would be great. I know, I'm new to this, so any sort of feedback would be nice. But yeah, thank you for watching. Have a good day. See ya.